Hi, I'm Ken,
And I'm Trudy.
and we do a lot of camping and we do a lot of YouTube watching. When we try to go camping, we want to look and see videos of where we're going, kind of get an idea what the campground's all about. And sometimes kind of disappointing. Either there's no video for that campground, or if there is, it's 5 years old, 7 years old, and outdated. Missouri's doing a lot of improvements in their campgrounds, so if it's more than a couple years old, it's not going to be very accurate. So we decided to try to do it ourselves. We've been doing a lot of camping this year, pretty much every other week. So we're visiting a lot of different campgrounds, Missouri,
Illinois.
Illinois, Corps of Engineer parks, state parks. So
Gonna try to do Tennessee or Kentucky and Alabama this year.
so hopefully we can get some videos and figure out what we're doing, and hope you all enjoy it and helps you out. We'll see you at the campground. All right, that's the entrance to the visitor center. Got a nice big parking lot there. Nice landscaping, a little wild natural area here. Lots of milkweeds, lots of grass. Same over here. A little picnic area down that way. You got a gift shop in here. Got a neat little display of the cave, kind of historic kind of view. And if you want to take the cave tour for the Onondaga cave, you come in here and they'll set you up. I believe they leave every half hour. Let's look that up. They're closed right now. I come up here right now because it was a little crowded earlier. A lot of people were taking the cave tours. Everything's closed, but here's the gift shop. There's a little store. Got a lot of nice stuff in there, usual t-shirts and hats and little stones and gems and stuff. Got some bird of some kind up here somewhere. A sitting area out here. And no, this is not a payphone, it's for emergency use. So don't even think of messing with it. come out of the campground, take a right, I'll bring you down here by the river. The picnic area is on the right with a boat launch. And if you're going to launch a canoe, you're going to turn left. There's a nice little shady spot to have a picnic. Launch a boat over there. Looks like some pit toilets down at the end. And there's the bridge over the Merrimack, and some gravel take you down there too. And here we have the boat ramp. Not too far from the campground. In fact, the campground's probably right back behind these trees behind me. And this is the Merrimack River, which was flooded just last week with all the heavy rains we got. Still moving pretty quick. A lot of water out there. It's not very big down here. You get up closer to St. Louis, and the river is a lot wider than this. There's a couple guys got their boats out apparently. Alright, here we have the canoe launch. It's a muddy mess. This is just right over across the highway from where the picnic area and the boat launch. And there's a picnic area over here too. Bunch of warning signs. Be careful of swimming. Nothing to be careful if you're going to get some real heavy rains or long-lasting rains. This does flood. The park was actually closed for a couple days last week because of that. And down here you have a small toilet for you. And here we have the Merrimack. Say it's a little higher than usual. A lot of water moving down through here. The boat ramp I showed you is just right up there on the right. Now besides the cave here, the other big popular attraction is canoeing. And it's a big place over here. People will float down to here, or they'll start here and go on down river. If you come in here later on in the summer, especially on the weekends, this place is packed. You can rent canoes over there, and then they'll go down the river and pick you up and bring you back. But usually there's not that much water in here. Lots of birds. There goes one of the busloads of people in their canoes. Coming from the Ozark Outdoors. This is where I just showed you from the bridge, where you can come down and get you a canoe. Now, if you ever wondered what you do with an old canoe when it retires, you turn it into a canoe hinge. You never know what you're going to see down in this area. you go. Just thought I'd give you a little relaxing water sounds. It's a little extra runoff from this pond over here across the road. I don't know if it's always there or not, but there's a bunch of water over there. Was left over from the floods or what? Sounds nice to listen to. That's just inside the entrance to the campground. So up here above the entrance to the main part of the campground, you've got a playground. This is a check-in station for the campground. It's kind of a strange spot because you don't really come by this way to get in. And nobody's there half the time anyhow, except maybe on the weekends. Here we have the dump station with a dumpster. Recycling. And then we have the big restrooms and showers. Women on this side. Sounds like there's somebody in there. Guys are on this side. I know no one's in here. Got some fancy artwork from one of the local high schools. 2 showers. And pretty much basic state park showers. Over on the women's side, there's a door. And for some reason it's locked right now. It's the laundry. A couple of washers and dryers in there. I didn't know they had any specific hours. Maybe somebody locked it accidentally. And coming up here is the trail to the amphitheater. Where a lot of times they'll have little programs on Friday or Saturday night. Different subjects, nature, and that kind of thing. There's some of these trails split off here. And there's your amphitheater. Room for several people here. I assume they probably have a projector screen back behind there. A couple of tables. I haven't been to one of these programs for a while since we usually camp during the week. It's always been, you know, owls or I think they got something going on about bears around here. So, back onto the campground. You have the check-in area for the cathedral cave. It's only done on the weekends during the summer. And it takes this trail back up here to it. And you have Coke machine, ice, and I guess you can get wood here too. The main campground host is right here next to it, in case you need anything. So here's a trailhead for one of the trails, one we just saw up there, going to the amphitheater. And apparently there has been bears sighted around here. Be careful. So about halfway or so up into the campground, you have another campground host. Individual showers. Not bad. And barking dogs. You can get firewood here. And ice and sodas again. And you got two individual toilets. Basic, they're in pretty good shape. One thing we like to do when we're traveling or camping is find a local ice cream shop or some other kind of goodies. And we found one here in Cuba, which is just the next exit west of Leesburg and the park. A little noisy out here, it's right off I-44. You should call this the North Service Road, just west of Highway 19, Cuba exit. So we found a place called Pearls. There is a tourist center up here at the exit. Lady in there told us about it, and I'm glad we asked. Nice place. Got lots of different kinds of ice cream and goodies. Friendly folks running it. Come on in. There's what you got here?
We have Pearl's Ice Cream Shop in Cuba, Missouri, and it is the best little find we've seen so far.
Lots of different kinds of ice cream. And you make your own waffle cones, right?
Yep.
Look at that. Every kind of flavor you want. Popcorn back there in the cotton candy machine. Lots of goodies. Come on in. What else you got over here? A little bit of everything. Some old kind of radio.
Have an actual 8-track and a cassette player. And a record player on top. Pretty cool.
Oh, good old days.
It's like we have the owner in here making some waffle cones. She might wave to you here.
Hey.
You're welcome. You guys have a blessed day.
Yeah. Thanks.
Homemade waffle cones from scratch.
They are the best.
From
They were
scratch.
good.
All right. Leesburg doesn't have a whole lot to offer. It's mostly a bunch of houses and a couple of churches. But they do have a new DG Market. It's like Dollar General, but it's also got groceries. They don't have everything, but if you need something in a hurry, they might have it for you. It's on Highway H, not too far off the interstate. It's on the way to the park, so you can't miss it. So coming into the campground, you come up to the first turn here for spots 1 through 13, which are all basic sites, which means no electricity or anything. Mostly your tenters or people who don't need electricity, campers even sometimes. It's all pretty nice, flat and open. Grass is all mowed nice and close. It's right down here by the riverside, pretty much. There's my driver. Sounds like a boat over on the Merrimack over there. So it just loops around down there. You see the tents down there at the end. And it just comes right back over here. Well, the weather's not really cooperating with me right now, but I'm going to try to get this campground in before it rains again. Here's first 13 basic sites we saw. I go over here to the main part of the campground. These first few spots right here are also basic sites. Starting with number 14 here. The campsites are numbered starting here at 14, going up the right side all the way around the end loop and then back and end up on number 68 over here. Kind of give you an idea of where you're at and by the numbers. Now, Missouri State Parks traditionally had a wooden post, like a 4x4, out here at the end of the drive with the site number and color coding as to what type of site it is. Here they've got the post back there, and the ones with electric, the numbers on the post in the back. They have started going to these white circles with the number painted on them. This is obviously the numbers coming off. And on down farther, looks like they've repainted the circle, haven't painted the numbers back on them yet. And if you're not familiar with Missouri's parks, the green on the post is for a basic site. Yellow is electric. Blue is electric and water. And the red is full hookups. I was trying to get this done as soon as the rain stopped, but then of course the rain stops, all the kids come out too, so a lot of kids in here this weekend. But that's good they're all out and riding their bikes instead of sitting inside and doing nothing. First campground host is right here. And that's the shower house up there. There's another path to the amphitheater. With parking right over here on the right. Now all these sites from here on are 50 amp electric and water. Looks like that's got a lot of water. Here's a trailhead for another trail. And I like to take the hiking trails, but schedule and the weather just didn't really work out for this trip. There are two sites they call family sites, where it's kind of a double up thing. If you got family coming, two different campers or tents. There's 66 camp spots. There's just one road in and out. It goes up all the way through here to a loop, and you come back out again. Yeah, it's the only campground.
Why don't you all just share? What do you all take in turns on? Okay. Well, we will. Well, how bad do you think? Okay. So, on the top we go one, and then we go Sawyer, and then we go Laney, and then we go Libby.
There is one pull-through spot, number 61, and it happens to be the one that we're using. And seeing that water spigot there kind of reminds me, you might want to put a pressure regulator on your hose, because it seemed like the pressure was pretty high, at least at our spot. I turned the faucet pretty much all the way off and it was still really blasting out. There's one of your double family sites. I believe that's number 20, if I remember right. Lots of trees, lots of shade. Some of these people have their satellite TV or Starlink antennas out. I'm surprised they can get a signal. Some of these sites. Lots of birds in the trees too. You hear them singing. throughout the day. My bird app said from the calls, there's like at least a half a dozen different types of birds in here. There's not really any bad sights. Some of them are fairly close together, which maybe you want or don't want. Some are just a little shorter than others. They're all paved, fairly level. Wish they had the numbers painted on their circles to make it a little easier for you to see where we're at. One vault toilet down here, probably don't get used much during the summertime. I think the park is open year round, but then you won't have any water probably after October. This end of the campground's really filled up last day or two.
Погулять, хочешь со мной? Да, мы скоро пойдем в пещеру.
Another campground host down here. And the other set of showers and restrooms that we saw earlier. It's got the Coke machine, an ice machine in there. Campground's pretty good and level. It kind of runs along the river, which is the other side of these trees there a little ways. There is one downhill, the curve on it coming down into the park. It's not too bad. Otherwise, the drive off the highway is pretty decent. And this is where the loop begins. You see some people that just pull in and park and that's it, and the other ones, major sites look like home. Last two spots down here on the end, tucked into the trees. And there you have it. That's your Onondaga Cave State Park Campground Tour. Well, that about wraps it up for Onondaga Cave State Park. It really pretty good few days. Wasn't too bad.
Not too bad. The weather was pretty decent except for a little bit of rain, but we were inside most of the time at night with that.
Yeah, it dried up during the day. It wasn't too bad at all. Got some video shot. The park, I don't think it's been a state park real long, because I remember like the early 80s, they used to advertise it as a commercial cave. You could come and visit or whatever. And then they donated to the state park, which is nice. It's a real nice park. Lots of stuff to do, nice campground.
Very clean.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know, it's been the last couple of years, I think they've overhauled part of it, because the campsites all have 50 amp service now, and, well, the electric sites are all 50 amp with water. And you got just a dozen or so basic sites. that have nothing, of course.
And for family camping, there's 2 caves. Of course, Onondaga Cave that cost a tour, and then there's another one, a smaller cave, I guess, that just tours on the weekends.
Yeah, it meets up a different spot up the hill there from the campground, like say on the weekends during the summer. Otherwise, around the park, besides the caves, you got canoeing, kayaking, that kind of thing. Boating is real popular down there on the Merrimack River, which is right next to the park. Fishing, swimming. It really wasn't good for that the week we was here because the river was so high. And actually the week before we was here, the campground was actually closed because of the high water. And what else we got?
If you want to make a phone call or use your phone Wi-Fi, you do have to go up to the visitor center, which also is a museum and a store that offers a few things.
Yeah, basic stuff, plus the souvenirs. And noisy cars. And then, yeah, Wi-Fi there, but for phone service, there's one spot by the dump station. If you're lucky, you might get a bar or two. Otherwise, you've got to go up the hill out of the park and not too far up the road. Once you get up top of the hill, you'll start getting a signal. We're only, 5 miles or so from I-44. So, you got good service up there. It is the Leesburg exit off I-44. It's exit 214, I believe. About halfway between Cuba and Bourbon. Now, we didn't go to Bourbon, but Cuba, we went down there and hung around for a while. It's a pretty nice town.
Well, I enjoyed that ice cream shop.
Yeah, Pearl's Ice Cream. And it's a decent-sized town. It's got near fast food places and Walmart and gas stations. All your basic necessities.
What's it known for?
What are they called? Murals, the Mural City or something like that. They got murals painted all over town, different subjects and, Route 66 and that kind of thing, historical stuff. And that's about it. Leesburg, there's not a whole lot to Leesburg. A Dollar General Market or DG Market they call it. But you get your basic stuff. It's Dollar General plus some groceries. There's a gas station across the highway, which I don't know if you got a big rig, if you want to try to get in there or not. A few houses, a couple churches. That's pretty much all of Leesburg.
Sorry about the noisy cars.
Yeah, you can't get away from them. Anything else?
Talk a little bit about the trails.
They got hiking trails over 6 miles worth, which I didn't get to hike on like I usually do because it was iffy on the weather sometimes and just didn't get around to it. And there is another, I forgot how many trails were in a park. Then they got another nature area 5 miles up the road, which there's a longer trail up there also, which I didn't even know existed until I saw it on the map, so I'll have to go there sometime. All right.
I think that wraps it up.
All right, wraps up Onondaga Cave State Park, wraps up our first YouTube video. As usual, you want to look up any information about this park or any other Missouri State Park, you want to go to www.mostateparks.com. And you can look up every park and historic site, and you can link off there and go and make reservations.
And if you wouldn't mind, like and subscribe.
You got to do that. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.